What's up, Pokemon trainers? Super Nerd Daniel here once again. I think it's pretty safe to say that Dark is my favorite Pokemon type. While not necessarily the most overtly powerful type in the game, Dark types employ a lot of clever and sneaky offensive tactics in order to get one over on their opponents. One might even say, #heal tactics. Buy the shirt. And they provide a much-needed foil to the previously overpowered Psychic type that went virtually unopposed prior to Generation 2. So, considering that some of my all-time favorite Pokemon fall under the Dark typing, and since I'm not actually sure why I didn't just start these type countdowns with it because of that, today, I'm gonna count down my personal top 5 favorite Dark-type Pokemon. Not counting Mega Evolutions. Number 5! Tyranitar! Tyranitar is probably one of the biggest exceptions to the standard Dark type. Whereas most Dark type Pokemon have poor at best defensive stats, Tyranitar has an impressive base 100 HP, base 100 special defense, and base 110 physical defense, making it capable of taking some pretty big hits. It gets even more annoying trying to take this thing down from the special side when you remember that I can automatically summon Sand on the switch-in with Sandstream, giving it the essential 50% special defense boost due to its half-rock typing. I've always really liked the big fella, even if it does have the unfortunate distinction of being the slowest pseudo-legendary Pokemon. It's always looked really big and imposing, much like the creature that likely inspired its design, the mighty Godzilla. Of course, I doubt that we'll be seeing Tyranitar fighting other giant monsters while haphazardly destroying giant cityscapes anytime soon, but hey, a boy can dream, right? Number 4! Alolan Muk! Okay, maybe you think it's cheating to put a regional variant on this list, because the original form of this Pokemon isn't actually a Dark type in the region where it first existed, but shut up, okay? This is my list. If you don't like it, go make your own list. Anyway, Alolan Muk has fast become one of my favorite Pokemon to use competitively. Its base 105 HP and 100 special defense make for a pretty good special defender, especially with the addition of an Assault Vest, and its Dark Poison typing eliminates any damage from Psychic attacks, one of original Muk's biggest weaknesses, leaving only a weakness to ground. Plus, that Dark typing means Alolan Muk now has Stab Pursuit, Stab Knockoff, and Stab Brutal Swing, all of which have a chance to activate Muk's Poison Touch ability to spread the sickness among the opponent's team. Add to that a couple of other really great abilities in Gluttony to allow it to eat powerfully healing berries earlier than normal, and Power of Alchemy to gain a fallen ally's ability in double battles, and you have yourself a pretty handy competitive partner. Plus, I'm still kind of amused about how it looks like some of the rainbow-colored goop you find all over Isle Delfino in Super Mario Sunshine. Seriously, I still think a polluted piranha plant is gonna pop out of Alolan Muk's face at any given moment. Number 3! Umbreon! Umbreon has always been one of my favorite evolutions ever since its introduction back in Generation 2, where it was the only pure Dark-type Pokemon introduced. A sleek black with piercing red eyes and gold-yellow rings on its body, which become an even cooler-looking blue if you have a shiny one, Umbreon is one of the more uniquely designed of the evolutions in my opinion. Competitively speaking, it's a pretty annoying Pokemon to deal with, what with its high defensive stats and its access to recovery moves like Moonlight, not to mention Foul Play to turn your own attack stats against you, and its distinction of being the only non-psychic type Pokemon to have the ability Synchronize, which gives the opponent the same stats condition that it gives to Umbreon. And apparently this dangerously defensive nature doesn't just apply to competitive battles either. Even on its own, Umbreon can be a major threat to those who get in its way, because according to the Pokédex, whenever it gets agitated, it sprays a poisonous sweat out of its pores into the opponent's eyes. Kinda like me in most awkward social situations. Number 2! Yveltal! Honestly, I think Yveltal has to be my favorite legendary Pokemon. Intimidating, cool, sleek, and scary all at the same time. Yveltal was actually the reason I picked Y over X when Gen 6 first arrived, since I didn't want to be spoiled on the games, and I just went by which version mascot I liked better. Nothing against Xerneas, but seriously, Yveltal! Yveltal has some pretty sick design origins too. Obviously it draws inspiration from carrion birds like crows and vultures, but it's also very likely based on Morrigan, the Celtic death goddess that often takes the form of a raven, or my personal favorite, the Norse mythological creature known as Hreisvelgr, a giant who takes the form of an eagle and sits upon the edge of the world, causing the winds to blow when it beats its wings. Oh, and there's also the small fact that Hreisvelgr just happens to mean corpse swallower, which all in all makes Yveltal pretty fucking metal to say the least. And even though its shiny does kind of make it look like a big raw strip of bacon, the big red Deathbird has made a long-lasting impression on me that would make it my #1 favorite Dark type, but... Number 1! Absol! Anyone who's watched my channel for more than 0 seconds knows that Absol is my all-time favorite Pokemon of any type, let alone Dark, so it really shouldn't surprise anyone that Absol is at the top of this list. Another Pokemon whose aesthetic lies in death and destruction, Absol is cursed with the ability to predict forthcoming disasters, and I say cursed because it usually gets blamed for this destruction that it's trying to warn people about, making it unfairly labeled as a Doombringer. I also just really like its design, with its body type, sharp claws, and scythe-like horn on its head, making it look sleek and dangerous. The white and dark blue color scheme also works really well for its look. Competitively speaking, its access to stab moves like Sucker Punch and Knockoff makes it a pretty big offensive threat. It's fairly fast and hits really, really hard, which makes it a real shame that defensively it's more akin to a wet paper bag, and it doesn't even gain any extra bulk when it changes into its absolutely beautifully designed Mega Evolution, which should have been Dark Fairy, by the way! But hey, I still really like it. And that combination of its offensive capabilities, its cool design and color scheme, and honestly, at least in part due to my bias towards dark and tragic characters in most forms of media, makes Absol my #1 favorite Dark-type Pokemon. But what about you guys? What's your favorite Dark-type Pokemon? Let me know in the comments below. Give this video a like if you liked it, and subscribe for more countdown videos from the dark side in the future. See you next time, Pokemon trainers. Super Nerd Daniel, out!